Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Everybody. I love that Achilles that still voted. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Guys, we're doing something different today. We are on YouTube as well as Twitter because we have a special guest. We have a special guest, and she's going to be sharing. So, yeah, let everybody know we're live. Come hang out with us. All that good stuff. How you doing, Miss Kira?
I'm doing good. How are you guys? How's everybody? I got like four monitors here. I don't know where to look. Let me pull
Oh
you.
my
Let me
gosh.
pull you up over here until I'm ready.
Everybody's doing good. Oh, here's L. Yay, L made it. Okay. I got you, L. I got you. All right. All right. So I don't hey, hey Musa. Um
Good morning, Musa. Good morning, Eddie.
morning everybody, but
Yeah.
let's see here. Okay, everybody. Uh yeah, I got two things going here, but what we're gonna do is hopefully I thought this was important, and I've been trying to get with me and Kira's been actually trying to get this, I guess, for a few months now, and so I thought this would be a good time right before the Bitcoin halving and all that for us to do a refresher course on security as it relates to our crypto and everything that's going on, um, the utilities that we have. Um, that help with security as well. So just let everybody know we're live. I'm gonna give it a few minutes because we just get started. Let me turn my notifications off. um, and let's get this going. How you doing, Elle?
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Might have to put my phone a little bit closer. I don't know if Kira heard you or not.
I heard. It was
Okay, cool.
a little faint, but I heard.
All right, okay, okay. Um, Let me see what I can do here. Yep. This is a very important conversation, so I don't want to just head out straight into it. I did bookmark some posts. Let me turn that notification off for us for the space. So let's find them. And let's go. Let's see. Where am I at?
Are you able to play a couple of tracks or?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to put something on now. But I wanted to, girl, I got two devices. You know where my brain is going in three different directions. Like what? Okay, hold on. All right, let me bookmark. Not bookmark. Let me put these up here. Okay. Oh, you know what? I don't think I did it on the right phone. Okay, but anyway, yeah. Let me turn some music on for you guys real quick until just a second. Okay, yes. I want a few people in here. I need some bodies so that people understand the importance of this. Um, I know y'all know I like to have fun and all that good stuff, but it's sometimes it's take time out to be serious. Kira, you want to kind of give us like a brief synopsis while I'm trying to find something for
Yeah.
us.
So Ladybug and I did this. I don't know, 22. I don't know when was the last time we did it, but it was I think around summer of 2022. So figured we'd revisit. I did create a PowerPoint presentation, a deck way back when. I did dust it off, and we're going to go through it again. Some of it is probably, as a lot of us have traversed the crypto space and whatnot, we've probably learned a lot of this, but I want to still go back to basics and talk about like why we need security awareness, even the basics, just to remind ourselves, and then talk about, what we've learned along the way since our last presentation, since we last talked about it. So I know those of you on X are not going to be able to see the presentation. I'll do my best to talk through it, but if you want to come back at a different point and rewatch the YouTube, it'll be there. So yeah, we're going to talk about why you should, just general digital awareness, wallet security, the typical attack vectors for what you're going to see in the crypto space and how you might get attacked, and then what you can do about it. So that's what we're going to cover.
Nice. Uh-oh. Oh, I put the wrong place. All right. Can you guys hear? Can you hear L? L? Uh-oh. L? Hello? Can I get emojis? Can y'all hear me? Oh, snap. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, L. Okay, she can. All right, cool. All right, okay.
Can you guys hear me is the important part.
Can you hear Kira? You heard her say that. That's the important part.
No, not that you're not important, but as I go through this.
Can y'all hear Kira? Okay, we got thumbs up. Thank you. I'm done at this moment. Oh my God, I'm done. That's the most difficult. Okay, guys, y'all know it don't take me nothing but 2 seconds to get off track. So let me focus. Let me get back focused. All right, let's hold on here. Good morning, guys. Oh my God. Okay. We're gonna play this little track real quick. Give a few more minutes, few more moments. As I said again, this is important. We all need to know how to better improve our security in this crypto space, and with what Vitoshi is bringing to the table with the utilities, with the SparkBot and other things. Just want to make sure that we get a comprehensive breakdown today. So, all right, let's see something here. And I'm just going to play this one because it's the one I want to hear this morning.
Exactly, but sorry about that.
No, you're fine. As long as I seen the thumbs up, I was like, oh, snap. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to play this song. Hopefully y'all can hear it. Give me a couple. It's about 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 49 seconds. And then we're going to get this show on the road. Please tweet out the room and let everybody know we're live. It's like I said, this is important. I wouldn't even, y'all know I usually just do Twitter, but just let everybody know we're live. Thanks. And let's see. Might be commercial.
Was it to go? Fast and Furious go pop to $1 billion. Mama, I made it. Money in the billion fund. Papa is proud. You said we'd never make it, but you don't made us proud. Look at how we made it out of something we're legend. I've been searching all around, searching round around, searching left and right, but all I don't have is Them put the new came with the remedy, double benefits, and 6 feet tall with the $1 billion dollar. Bounty change, the wait is over. Go there, mama, go to the moon. go body deep now. Put the flags, put the change, BDSC, BDSC. Go be your legs now. Go body deep now. Go tell the band, go tell the band, go tell the friend who the money's on.
Vote. Revolutionary, there's no family like the vote army. Vote to know the best, check the dictionary, and you will see the definition of a real family. You can be bulletproof and say speakers, fight it from the roof. Join your crew, cause if you snooze, you lose.
I've been searching for $1 billion family. Then I saw the voted family. Then I went to be my backs now. Went to shoot my backs now. Went to be my. Now I've been searching for $1 billion family. Then I saw the voted family. Then I went to be my backs now. Went to be my backs. Wow, yeah. Voting change, the wait is over. Go tell my mama, I'm gonna make the moolah. I'm gonna make the moolah. I'm gonna make the moolah. Voting change, the wait is over. Voting like that. The wait is over. Voting change, yeah. The wait is over. Put the clock and say let's go. Voting change, voting change. BDSC. Voting like that. Voting change. Voting change, yeah. BDSC. Put the clock and say let's go. Voting change, voting change. Peace out.
All right. Okay. Let's get this show on the road, baby. Let's get it on the road. All right.
Let me share the screen without sharing my entire. All right.
Okay. So, guys, on Twitter, I am on YouTube as well. She's gonna be putting up charts. So if you want to visually see it, come over to my channel, my YouTube channel, or you can always go back later on and watch it. Okay. But again, this is secure, and I'm gonna let her take off. Go, Kira.
Yeah, so bringing everybody together, just a refresher on security awareness. If you're in the corporate world, you have to, you generally are legally obligated to do this every year. So we're going to follow suit, right? So it's been a while, so let's talk about it, right? Security awareness, I feel like people forget when they come into the digital space about security. And, you know, when you're in the real world, you generally you have this mindset of like, I need to lock my car door, I need to lock my house, I need to be generally aware of where I am when I'm walking in a city I'm not familiar with. And people forget that when they come in the digital space, right? And so we need to remember that when we come into any type of digital situation, it is still an unsecure place. You need to have awareness of where you are, of who you're talking to. You need to have an understanding that you need to be alert of what's going on, right? If someone DMs you, you need to have some sort of knowledge and understanding of what's going on in the space. So just a reminder that just because it's a lot of like ones and zeros and code and there's a lot that can happen to you, especially more so in the digital space than in the physical space, I feel nowadays. So we're going to want to build layers of security around us. Let's see. Okay. And Ladybug, if you want to add anything, by the way, feel free to jump in.
Yes, ma'am.
So what type of attacks are we going to see in the digital space? For those of you looking at this slide, the ones on the left are pretty much what you're going to encounter. The ones on the right are just very fancy technical hacks that usually happen to corporations and whatnot. But the biggest one you're going to find is what's called social engineering. And that includes phishing, right? There's different types of phishing, but generally let's just talk about phishing. And that's where they basically they fish for information. They fish for a scam. They try and bait you, right? They throw something out and try and fish for information that could lead to them having your credentials or login information, for example. Password attacks, a little less common, but can happen, right? You get a lot of, your information is on the dark web, and they might do brute force attacks where they try and just guess your password over and over. So if you ever get emails or notifications that someone has tried to log into your account, that they're probably doing like either a brute force attack or what's called a dictionary attack, where, if you use common words, they can just guess based off of dictionary words or whatnot. Sometimes they'll do keyloggers, and that usually ties into the next one, which is malicious code, right? Malicious code is malware, Trojans, viruses. You're going to have to click on something. So this is a big thing. Be careful of what you click on, all the links that are floating around out there. Be suspicious of links. I mean, that's just the biggest, we go back to awareness, right? And understanding. Be suspicious of everything, essentially. Don't click on any links, because you might download some malware that will then put a keylogger on your phone or your device or something like that, or allow the attacker to gain access to something. I'm not going to go into the right side, but anybody who's curious, there's more technical stuff. When people think of hacking and attacks, they generally think it's going to be this fancy stuff on the right, where you get like man-in-the-middle attacks, denial of service attacks, or anything. It's actually, I'm going to jump to a different slide. It's actually 98% of all cyber attacks are social engineered. So if you think about all the hacks that you read about in the news, in terms of like Target or even Ledger, right? That was a big thing. That was a social, that was, most of it is social engineering, where someone who has advanced privileges, their account gets social engineered in some way, shape, or form, and now the hacker has their credentials and can get into the system. So just be aware that 98% of hacks are your fault. Because you've been socially engineered, because you weren't aware and you gave some information away unknowingly, right? So phishing websites, fake websites, essentially. There's over 2 million phishing websites as of January of 2021. I'm assuming that's going to go, that's gone up, but there's just so many fake websites out there that you all need to be aware of when you click links. 60% of people opened emails or DMs, even if they thought they were suspicious, right? So you get that spidey sense in the back, and you're like, should I open this? Don't open it. People get that spidey sense, and they say, I'll chance it, and they, what if it's real? And they open it. A lot of it's disguised as a file, right? So you have PDFs or docs or an Excel spreadsheet, and it's generally what's called an executable file that's hidden in that, right? So it's a file that you think is just a harmless PDF or even an image, right? You think you're clicking on an image, and there's a link or a file that's embedded in that will open up and run on your computer. So don't click on links, don't click on suspicious files, don't do any of that. So here's some stats for you. Basically, this is why this is so important, because a lot of it originates with you. A lot of the hacks, and I'm going to say quote unquote hack, because it's not a hack. It's you actually volunteering your information. What is social engineering, right? It's basically someone using human interaction to gain your trust, to get information from you. They can trick you with a fake contest, a fake link, a fake, I think it's from my bank, so I'm going to click on it and enter my bank information, my login information. Okay, well, guess what? Now they have your bank login information. They could be pretending to be you. We've all gotten those stupid IRS calls, right? This is the IRS. Please call us back. Otherwise, we're going to show up at your door and arrest you. It's obviously not real, right? So think about it in the same way with with your emails, your DMs, anything, right? An admin, you're going to be pretending to be an admin. We're not going to DM you. We're not going to ask you for anything. And then, just baiting, right? There's a lot of baiting out there, leaving, I don't know. There was a big thing was like leaving those USB sticks, and people would pick it up and see what's on it, right? And now all of a sudden they have malware on their computer. Or in New York City, a big thing is like, hey, I have a demo disc, right? And it's a computer disc, and it's supposed to be demo music, and it's now you've installed malware on your computer. So I just went through that really quick.
Don't know. So, all right, and I let you go,
Yeah.
and I allowed you to do that because I mean you answered some of the stuff that I had.
Yeah.
But also too, Elle, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. If anybody's got any questions or whatever, I didn't know because I'm not monitoring, so I don't know if anybody wanted to come up and ask questions about security, any of that. Please come up and ask your questions as we go through this, because again, this is serious. Look,
I did want to comment that Kira's 100% correct. A lot of most, as we heard, 98% is us giving out that information. Of course, we're unaware of what we're doing or clicking on links, but you just have to be really careful. And I love that these past couple of years have gotten me like hyper cautious. One example was actually my sister less than a year ago. Some crazy things, like they hacked her bank account, but exactly what Kira said. What had happened is they got into her husband's phone and they were texting her like it was him. And she answered that call. She answered that text. She clicked on whatever, quote unquote, her husband was sending her. And then that's how they really got to her bank account or their bank account. I don't know if they're, both on it, but they went through her husband's phone, and then started messaging her or calling her. So that's, even examples like that was such a nightmare for her. I felt so horrible. But, it's just a lot of crazy things out there. And if it just doesn't sound right, someone once made a joke, like, I don't even answer the phone for my mom anymore. And, not to that extent, but think twice, if this sounds weird, if it just does not make sense, if, your husband's or significant other or whoever is, texting you or calling you in a weird time of day or night, just think twice, just pause for a minute. Don't jump, but just pause, assess, and then go from there. But yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because when you said the phone calls, when I get phone calls and if I do pick it up, I automatically disguise my voice. It's just automatic. It's like just in case, because of the way that they're doing the authentication now with your voice, and then I think that with your eyes as well. So all of that we need to be really aware of.
Yeah. A big thing that was, to give more examples, a big thing was they're targeting a lot of elderly people as well. My mother-in-law got phone calls from her grandson saying, help, I'm in trouble. And a lot of elderly folks who may not, be conscious or cognizant of the surroundings, they just want to help, right? And that's basically what these scammers are doing, is they're feeding off your emotions to want to either help or solve something or stop something from happening. And luckily she was she basically was told him to like, you know, get a life and whatever, because, you know, it obviously was not him. But I do know some folks who have fallen for it, right? They think their grandson's in jail or grandson's in the hospital or something like that. And, so we all know to not answer the phone, right? It's like a given, right? If somebody calls you, you're like, oh, this is a scammer. But we don't use that common sense when it comes to like Telegram or DMs and X, right? And that's where there's some sort of disconnect where we think that, you know, it's, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to pick up the phone. That's a scammer. But we fall for it when it comes to like DMs or something. So always validate, always question it, always validate.
That is true. Why do we have that disconnect in Telegram and Twitter? We do. I don't understand that one.
Yeah.
But all the crazy stuff that goes on, we still just we miss it. We do. So it's when you were talking about the your grandmother and brought up that they reached out to me through my stepmother and she told me she was in the hospital, but she wanted to surprise my sister with a gift, and she wasn't going to be able to go get it. So if I could just purchase some gift cards for her, you know, it would be greatly appreciated. And initially, when I got the email, I was like, okay, and then I got to thinking, I'm like, this sounds really weird. And then I just picked up the phone because I was like, if that was the case, my dad would have called me, right? You know, you started doing it, you know, my dad would have called me. So I'm like, hey, what is such a night? No, I said, oh, okay. And so then that's when I reached out to her and told her she needed to, change, we call it, change her password and all that stuff on her email and all that, because they were just going crazy. So I mean, it's real, and they make it sound realistic, like, you know. So just be more aware of those things that's going on. But as we're talking, Vitoshi's put out a couple of tweets, and the one that I really liked was the one where he had the Spark bot with the Spark transfer on there, and how that relates to security and being more secure in this space. Cure.
Yeah, we'll get. Let's finish out how we can be safe when it comes to like email and DMs, and then I'm going to get into wallet security, and that's going to be a big one. So.
Okay, cool.
So here's some things, just some little things that I want to talk about when you're in Telegram or X, right? I mean, it applies to email, but we, none of us live in the email realm together. So, I mean, the biggest thing is, right, don't click on anything and do not give your seed phrase out. I mean, there's just that one, giving your seed phrase out to anyone that contacts you is like giving your social security number away or the keys to your house, the keys to your safe. If they have it, here's the key to my safe. They're going to open the door. They're going to open the lock and clean your safe out. So don't do it. Don't click on any links from an unknown source. I wouldn't even click on links from a known source unless I talked to, if Ladybug and I were talking and she and I sent a link, I've actually said, I need to send you a link. Are you okay with this? And we know each other, but still, we still have some secure protocol around the links we communicate with each other. So don't click on any links, and always validate. Always question who is sending you the information. What are their motives? Why are they contacting you? If you go into, and this is a big thing, if you go into the Telegram channel or VC and you ask a question, people are watching. They are watching to see what questions you have, and then they pretend to be someone who's going to help you. They pretend to be an admin. They pretend to be something, and they are very good at copying profile names. So even if it looks legit, you're looking at it and you're like, I don't see a difference in the screen name. It's got to be Kira. Like, always come in to VC and ask, did you send me a DM? Because there's invisible characters. There's things that look like, if an O versus a 0, there's always ways to make it look exactly. I have stared at user IDs before and had to put it into it like a hex editor to see which character it was different. And it didn't, to the naked eye, it didn't look like different, and it was a scammer. So always question, validate information, check sender address, hover over links to see, because you can mask a link, right? It'll say Sparkbot, but it's masking the link. And actually, if you hover over it, you can see the real link and the real address it's going to take you to. And you're like, oh, hell no, I'm not clicking that. Right? The IRS is not calling you. We are not DMing you. We are not going to DM you. So if you go into Telegram, for example, here's some stuff you can do. There's some security settings I want everybody to go in and validate, because even if you think you've checked everything off, Telegram pushes updates out. So it's always good to go in and kind of just do a security refresh every so often. Set your phone number to nobody so nobody can call you. Last seen online, I don't want people to know when I come and go, right? So I set it to nobody. Forwarding messages, calling you. This is a big one. And if I could select nobody, I would, but they only let you do my contacts. Don't let anyone add you to scam groups, right? So if you go in and you start seeing you have 14 Voldinu groups, and you're like, where did all these come from? It's because people are allowed to add you to groups without your permission. So go in and turn that off. Preference for me, turn off automatic media download and autoplay, because sometimes they embed links and they embed stuff into media, and that was a big thing for a while. So just go into your Telegram security settings and make sure you're covered from that aspect.
Hold real quick.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. No, I was pausing.
Wait a minute. Because I think I call myself being pretty tight on my securities in this TG. But you said, what did you just say about the notifications for?
Automatic media download and autoplay.
No, the one before that, the adding you to groups.
Groups and groups and channels.
So where do you go for that?
It should be in the same settings if you go to privacy and security.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't have a nobody.
Yeah. The granular, the only granular you can select is my contacts, which is, and go through your contacts. Make sure you go through your contacts and say, do I know this person? Right? Scrub all your contacts. You don't. And if you have people in your contacts, I didn't realize that they could see my phone number, and I had someone in there. I didn't mind, but I had another admin in there. I love all you guys. I don't necessarily want you guys to have my phone number, right? So, so just you really got to go through everything. Go through what your contacts can see about you, what they have access to. Make sure. Make sure. The biggest thing is don't let random people add you to groups and channels, because then you get added to scam groups.
So basically, on that part, you have to go in and just look at your contacts.
Yeah.
And see that. Okay.
And then there is a setting somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. There's a setting to say, scrub your contacts. Make sure you want them to be your contact, because they have elevated privileges to your information. And then.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the contacts right now. I can't seem to. I guess I went in the wrong place. Because this is how important my security is to me. I got to make sure everything's covered. So I mean that's key right there, because I'm getting, all of a sudden I guess people are crypto's get ready to move again. So I'm getting all these groups. I'm in all these groups all of a sudden, and I'm having to go in and take each time I get, they send me something. I'm going in and removing myself. So.
I love you guys. So as Kira just said, go check your contacts. I'm like, all right, let me go just scroll through them. and literally there was something called customer care. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Oh, yes.
Seriously, go through them. I'm like, what the hell? I've never really paid attention to them until right now.
Hey, this is important because
Yeah.
I don't know who. Look, I got somebody here called Casino Smoke. Who is that? OMG. Oh, Lord. I got all kind of stuff, crazy stuff going on here. I found him. Oh, it's not too bad, but it's bad enough.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah, I had my phone number available to everybody that was in my contacts, and then somebody pinged me. They're like, I see your phone number. I was like, oh crap. So I turned that off to nobody could see it, and then I added an exception for, like, for example, Ladybug. You can add exceptions for people you do want to have your information, but that's generally the rule of thumb, is the least privileged access. Always set your information to have the least privileged, right? You don't want anyone to have access to your information. And then you can elevate just the select people that you want to have your information. So your general security settings set to, like, as secure as possible, where no one has access to any of the information. And then if you want to allow, like, one person, you can do an exception for that one person. But I always lock down everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got rid of one. So okay.
And again, I always have to go back in, because these apps, they push out new features, and you're like, oh, that's a new feature. I don't want anyone knowing that about me, right? So
Hey, I need to check these because I got names that's supposed to be people I know. When I open up, they got Chinese writing on them and everything. So
generally, I think when somebody adds you as a contact, you have to accept it. But again, there's ways around things. That's why I always say check it.
it's definitely ways around because this stuff right here.
You're like, I know I wouldn't have accepted though.
Yeah, I'm like, what is all? I can't even. Yeah, this is crazy.
I found two. I bet everybody's on their contact list, right?
Dude, I'm tripping. Like, the
I found
freak?
two that I did not recognize at all.
Yeah, let's see.
And I know we're talking about Telegram because that's basically where we live. Do the same thing for X, right? X has a section for security settings. I have mine locked down to where people can't DM me unless it's a certain situation, right? Unless I'm like, unless I follow them. And I know we all like to follow everybody to get our our followers count up, and or we want to have more access to the Volt Army. But I mean, use some judgment, because there's a lot of fake accounts out there, right? I follow people that I know are legit people, that I've talked to or I've seen in the community. If I don't follow you, I apologize. It's nothing. Don't take offense to it. It's either, I just don't. I don't follow a lot of people because that means that they can damn me, and I don't. I want to lock that down. So go check on X, go check on Telegram, any social app that you use, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Go check your security settings. We forget to do that.
That's good. Yeah, check your security settings. I'm over here checking numbers, making sure the numbers matching everything. Like, okay. Yeah, it's got some weird names in here. So.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Because you guys, I'm sure that with every app that we use, we're all now like, oh crap, I got to go check everything. So I'll keep going. But I mean, the biggest takeaway from these slides that I just walked through is 98% of all hacks are user error. You know what I mean? So protect your information. Don't give anything out, and make sure all of your devices and apps are locked down. And I'm going to get into other things, but like even logging in, make sure you have two-factor on. Because if you do have a weak password, which all of us do, a lot of us use the same password for the past 10 years. It's out there. But, you know, if you have two-factor on, and when I say factor means a point of security, right? So your username and password is one factor. Something you know, something you have, and something you are generally the factors, right? So something you know is your username and password. Something you have is your phone that has the two-factor codes that are generated, and something you are is usually your biometrics, like your fingerprint or your your eye print. So those are usually the three factors. And the rule of thumb is you should have at least two factors set up, right? So something you know is your username and password, which anybody could know nowadays because information is dumped on the dark web. But they don't have your phone, they don't have your ledger, they don't have an RSA device that has a code, right? So they don't have the security thing that you have in your pocket. So that's where two-factor comes in. So make sure you have, when you go and set up usernames and passwords, you have two-factor or multi-factor setup on everything, on Telegram, on X, on everything.
I mean, it might take you a few more steps, but it's worth it to know you're secure.
And there's not one, when they do like Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator, they're all basically the same. I don't, not that I recommend one over the other. I use both depending on if one's for my job and required versus Google. So, Apple, I'm sure has something, but those authenticator apps, as long as it's a trusted name like Google, Apple, Microsoft, there's not one that's better than the other. So just do it, essentially, is the point, right? Just set it up and a lot of the times Google will back it up, right? So if you get a new phone, it'll transfer over. So, if you lose your phone, make sure you have, that's the only thing is like the backup. It's the same thing as a seed phrase. If you lose your seed phrase, you're kind of SOL. If you lose your authenticator, your two-factor, you're kind of SOL. So
kind of, it's over. Oh, you hit that. Y'all need to make at least 2 to 3 copies of your seed phrases and put them in 2 to 3 different places just in case there's a fire, whatever the case may be, because there's too many incidences where people have only had one set and something has happened, whether it's gotten wet or they misplaced it or just whatever, excuse me, the reason is. So at least write them down at least 2 to 3 times. Okay.
And here's another exercise for you. When was the last time you wrote down those seed phrases? Because we all create like 8 wallets every day, right? I know some of us have like a boatload of wallets. Have you written them down? Do another audit of all of your wallets and all of your seed phrases. Now is the time after this to do an audit of all your security settings, your seed phrases, everything. So take the time. Do not take pictures of them and store them on your phone.
I used to do that a long time ago, but I didn't know,
Yeah.
Like,
don't take pictures of them. Don't store them on the cloud, right? Anywhere someone can hack into, don't store it there. Store it, write it down, and laminate it if you want to. Put it in a firebox. My mom has no clue what crypto is. Here, store this for me.
Right.
She has no idea. Put this in your firebox, Mom, right? And so if you don't have a Firebox, get one of those for all your important information. Yeah, so some people have a bank deposit box. Go put it there.
Put it somewhere.
Put it somewhere.
But at least have a couple. I just really strongly, I've just heard too many stories in the chat where they only had one, or they have 11 words, and they can't make out the 12. I mean, I just focus on that because that's really important.
That I've heard a lot of stories, and that happened to me where I'm like, is this an M or a W? I have no idea, right? Is this an M or an N? In my quick cursive writing, my half cursive, half, whatever, I'm like, what the hell is this word? Make sure it's legible. Make sure you can read it. Type it up. I don't know. Do something.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody got any questions so far? Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, absolutely. If anybody has any questions, come on up. We don't have anybody up yet, but I did also want to just add a little tip for the ones who just don't know. But even like websites you visit, pay attention in the URL on the line where you have your www dot, your links. It'll have a lock there. It's a secure website. If you don't see like a lock image right next to the URL, that's not a secure website. So always look for the lock. It's like a closed lock that it's a little image of it right by the URL. So pay attention to little things like that, depending, when you go visit websites or whatever, notice, what's a secure website and what is not. So I just wanted to add that out there as well.
Yeah, and that's the spoofing of the links I was talking about, right? Sometimes it'll say it's going to, www.google.com, right? It'll say it, you'll see it, but then if you hover over it, you can actually see where it's actually taking you to. And it might be like, iamascammer.com, right? So, just, this is again, the little things that Elle was talking about, that you can just validate, tiny little nuances that may give you a hint that it's not the right place to be, right?
Yep. Great information, Kira.
Anybody have any stories they want to share? Stories are always good because they're learning experiences. Maybe not a question, but a story. Feel free to come up.
Yeah, to make sure y'all let's share.
And for those of you for those of you actually looking at the PowerPoint, I actually do I just noticed I give an example, right? If I put my mouse over it, it's totally different link, right? It's Amazon.com, user data, account, security, fraud prevention. But when you hover over it, it's some random website. So if you want a visual of what a phishing email might look like.
Okay, so you're saying, but behind the hidden link.
Yep.
Okay, guys. This is important because when y'all start rushing around, make sure y'all safe. When that money start flowing, I don't want y'all to lose y'all's mind and lose your money too.
That's it, Space Chick, right? Space Chick just said, I got screwed by a QR code before. I scanned it and lost everything in the wallet. Now, QR codes are like the worst thing because you have no idea. And there are ways that you can generate a QR code that authorizes scammers to, in your wallets, and we'll get to this, in your wallets, you can actually generate a link or a QR code that will authorize the scanning wallet to pay you, for example. So you're basically, it's a quick way to do like those validations and authorizations in your wallet. It bypasses that. So QR codes are scary. I avoid QR codes like the plague if I can.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes you have no choice. You're at a restaurant and their only menu now for no contact menus is a QR code. But generally in the digital world, I try and avoid it because you have no idea. You can hover over links and kind of see that it's taking you somewhere. You can't tell where the QR code is taking you.
Okay, that's a good one right there. I never thought about the QR code aspect with but the link behind it, so a link in there. So you gotta be careful, regardless.
I think some of the Google Lens, for example, will if I hover over the QR code, it'll show you the link. But even then, you don't know. You don't know what it is. So just be. I am the most jaded person on the face of the earth now because of all of this. But you got to be.
Vigilant. Be vigilant.
Yeah, that's a good word. We use that in our company, vigilance. I'm just trying to think if this is a useful slide. It talks about the cycle of, if we want to give a real world example of how a scam could take place, right? How you could be socially engineered. You're in Telegram and you say, I need to migrate my token. I still have V2. It's been a while. I don't necessarily know any of the admins because it's been, 6 months since I've been in and there's some new faces here. Can someone help me migrate? Right? And everybody's telling you, come to the VC, and you're like, I'm at work, I can't, I can't talk. Right? The scammers are in there and they're researching. This is like I'm going through this life cycle for anyone following me on the slide, right? So they're researching you, they're understanding the target, what's motivating them, what information they're looking for, what the problem is. And then they move to what's called the hook, where they contact you and say, hey, I heard you needed to migrate your token. Forget about what everybody said in the Telegram about not clicking links and not answering DMs and not coming to come to the VC. Forget about what everybody else says. I'm an admin and I can help you. All you have to do is click on this link, right? And they're building a relationship with you. They're gaining your trust. They're saying things to you like, oh, I heard this. Yeah, no, being all nice and whatever. And you're like, oh, this is an admin. This is great. These guys have great customer service, right? And then they hook you into clicking whatever shady link.
USOP players, I have some
They hooked you into clicking.
Stop. Okay.
They hooked you into listening to music. They've hooked you into clicking this link, right? And then they start the extraction, right? They continue the relationship, they strengthen it, they maintain the believability, all the while they're extracting your stuff through whatever malicious means. And then they exit. Then they run away with your stuff. So that's the life cycle, right? And that's a real world example. We get that all the time. How do I migrate my token? And they say, I want to build this trust with you. I'm an admin. Believe me, trust me, even though everybody's telling you not to trust me. And they work off your emotions, your panic. Like, I only have so much time before I can migrate my tokens. I'm going to lose everything if I don't migrate. Well, now you're going to lose everything because you clicked on a shady link. So don't answer DMs.
Don't answer. Don't answer, guys.
All right, so that's kind of like Telegram and DM security. And I'm gonna pause it and kind of move into wallet security now, unless anybody has any other examples they want to talk about or questions.
I'm ready for the wallet. I got 20 million questions for the wallet. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah. Does anybody got questions?
No one's up here yet, and I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So a basic refresher for those of you who may not know, there's a couple types of wallets. There's a hot wallet and a cold wallet. A hot wallet is anything that's generally web-based, mobile, desktop wallet. are generally all hot wallets. Your public and private keys are stored on the internet through these, right? So they're up in the cloud somewhere, and they're constantly connected, right? So they're constantly connected to the internet, to the world, to the public. You have, for example, Trust Wallet, MetaMask, Coinbase Wallet. Any of these wallets are considered hot, and hot meaning they're live, they're connected, and they're ready to go. Because they have that constant connection to the internet, it makes them pretty insecure, right? So we're not saying don't ever use a hot wallet, because they're useful in the sense that you kind of have to connect to it to buy stuff, right? Or to, just keep small amounts that you're okay losing or playing with in your hot wallet. Like if you have your MetaMask and you want to connect to Uniswap to buy something, fine, but then move that off to a cold wallet. And what a cold wallet is, it's storage. Cold or hardware wallet is the other name for it. Examples are Ledger, Trezor, Engrave. There's a whole bunch that are out now. It's a physical device that, see if I have mine. It's a physical key fob or, some sort of, looks like a card or whatever, that you have in your possession. And what did I talk about earlier? I talked about factors, right? Something you know, something you have, something you are, right? This is a factor of security for your crypto. It requires physical possession as well as an additional layer of something like a PIN. Right? So unless, and I don't want to say this is like the end all be all in security, because you could still accidentally give your seed phrase to someone and then they still have access to all of this. But if you are really vigilant about not getting your seed phrase out, there's actually pretty much no way that somebody could take your funds off of that ledger, because they would actually need to be sitting next to me right here, and not just have it, but actually have the additional layer of the PIN associated with it. I would have to tell them. So anything that's important to you, NFTs, your big bag, move that to cold storage, because they're not connected to the internet until you allow it to be, right? So there's no way somebody can get on it from the outside world until you turn it on and put in your PIN and connect it to the web. So that's hot wallets and cold wallets. We've been talking about Ledger. Any of the cold wallets are generally up to par. I use Ledger. A lot of us use Ledger. There was a whole incident around Ledger being hacked. I'm comfortable enough with it because they patched it right away. Microsoft gets hacked all the time. We don't stop using Microsoft, right? But, it's just a matter of their response to the incident. And again, I'm going to, tell you, they weren't hacked. The hardware wasn't hacked. The infrastructure wasn't hacked. It was somebody left their account open that had access to, it was an employee essentially that got phished, and their information was made public, and the hacker got in through their account and was able to access the back-end code and put some malicious code on there, which was identified and immediately patched, and updates were pushed out. So I was comfortable with their response, and I still use it. So it's all about just do your research, figure out which one makes sense to you. And this is not a suggestion. This is like, get a cold wallet. Let's do it, right? So, best practices, again, just don't ever give your seed phrase out. I don't care if you think you know the person, trust the person, whatever. Treat that like your most prized possession, right? Don't give your seed phrase out. if you need to keep funds in a hot wallet, just keep a small portion across maybe several accounts to minimize risk. Anything big, move to your cold storage. This is a big thing. Connecting, use a trusted device, right? If you are installing stuff on a work phone, I don't call that a trusted device, because you have no idea who used it before you, who has access to stuff, because generally your work has access to your phones and they install a bunch of stuff on it. Just use a trusted device. Don't go to the library and use a library computer, for example. Like, just something that you own, that that you're not taking out into the public and connecting to like Starbucks Wi-Fi all the time. Try and connect through a device that you keep at home, that you can kind of make semi into a semi warm wallet, essentially, where you're not connecting it to a whole bunch of networks and stuff. I prefer to delete and reinstall if you know when you're trading. That's cumbersome to some people. So if you have a device that you're not going to just run around everywhere and connect to a bunch of stuff, you just keep an old phone at home, maybe, that you only use for trading. Keep that on there, but always, 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 always disconnect. Clear your cache, disconnect, make sure you've disconnected from the website and from your hot wallet, right? There's, depending on which wallet, Trust Wallet, MetaMask, there's different ways to do it, but you always disconnect and clear your history and clear your browser cache in both sessions, in both the internet. If you're using the internet within the app, the DApp, close that, clear that out, and then go to connected sites and make sure that there's connected sites, nothing listed there. If you're buying a cold wallet, only go to trusted sites. Don't go to Amazon. Don't go, third parties. Buy directly from the actual vendor, because what happens is if you buy on Amazon, somebody could open it and copy the seed phrase down. They could write the seed phrase down and then reseal it and send it to you. And then what? They have your seed phrase now. So those are some general best practices. I'll pause. Ladybug or Elle, do you have anything to add?
Elle, you got anything?
No, that's really good information. I hope people are sitting with a pen and paper down, but always clear your browser history, and even just go to like your not just your specific apps, but go to the like Chrome, or whatever browser you're using, and clear that as well. But that's really good information, and we know Ball Army is already on top of this because we've been at it for a couple of years. But for anyone who's unaware or just getting new information that you may not have even known, like you and I, Ladybug, I didn't even think to go look at my contacts, and there were a couple things on there. I didn't even know what they were. I don't even know a Vince, but there's a Vince in there. I'm like, who's Vince? That was weird. That was a really good one. Thank you for that, Kira.
Yep.
Now, as what else? Okay, because what I want to do is, and you tell me where you're at with what you're doing. I wanted to hit the tweet as far as with the SparkBot and the approvals, the revokes, and all of that as far as safety is concerned. And,
so I'm going to jump. Yeah, I'm going to jump to this slide, make sure I covered everything here, and then we can get into it. Okay. So, wallet security. Again, go into the actual wallet and see what security features are there, right? Same as with Telegram, all that. You got to keep updated on what security features are available to you and what updates they have pushed out. Make sure you have the most recent version, especially on your cold wallets, because they put out security patches all the time to combat you know, incidents. And if you're on an old version, you may not be 100% secure. Especially like with Ledger, for example, you have to update not only your device, but you have to update Ledger Live, which is the interface on your computer that talks to it. So you have to update in 2 places. Otherwise, you can't trade. So, let's say you get to a situation where something takes off and you got like $100 million in your wallet and you want to trade. You don't want to be sitting there doing security patches for an hour because you were so far behind and now you can't trade and the chart crashes. So stay up to date, not only from a security standpoint, but from a trading standpoint, right? You want to make sure you're up to date. Go through and understand. If you have a question on what a security feature is, go look it up. See what the best practices are around it. Make sure you're using, like I said, passwords that are 10 years old. My dog 123, right? Use something different. Use a secure password that's different, and make sure you write it down. Obviously, 2-factor. Make sure you turn on like additional trading passwords or pins, right, for an extra layer of security. Not just the one to log in, but maybe they have the option to add an additional layer. Write them down. Sometimes they offer anti-phishing codes to where, like, if you get an email, there's like an image that is the image you selected. So you're like, wait, that's not the image I selected. That's not, So go through all the security features, understand what they are, and utilize them. When you're accessing the internet, don't use public Wi-Fi. Starbucks, God knows who's sitting there waiting for you to connect to it. Even guest networks at known places. There was a security, it's in the news, so I'm not, whatever. So there was a energy company in New York that got hacked and almost shut down the entire grid on the East Coast, including the 911 system. And it was all because their guest network was not secure, and somebody was able to get into the guest network and then jump to their main network. So guest networks, even though you might be at your company or your work, they're not secure. So don't use them. Obviously, if you are in a situation and some chart's going up and whatever, and we're not saying you can never do it, just be really aware of where you are and what network you're connecting to. Your friend's house, who knows what security they put on there? I would not trust any of my friends to have a secure network, so I'm not connected to their network to trade, right?
Right.
Consider purchasing a secure and reputable VPN. That's a big one. So there's a bunch out there. If you want some suggestions, come into the VC. We can talk about it. Definitely antivirus and firewalls. Make sure your computers are safe and patched and you have the appropriate virus programs on there. Nothing is free. This is a big one. We haven't talked about
free. Why is it not free? I like free.
We haven't talked about, for those of you who don't know, NFTs can be very malicious if you don't know where they came from. If you all of a sudden you have this NFT in your wallet and you're like, I didn't purchase that, but awesome, it's free, and you click on it or try and sell it, they can wipe out your wallet. Similar to tokens that you don't recognize. They're called dust tokens, and they can be very malicious. I'll give a little history lesson that Hound has been saying. Originally they were used as marketing, right? They were used as mass marketing, like all the emails you used to get for mass marketing. The original purpose of a dust token was to mass market and advertise to everybody a project. Sometimes you'll get, you'll get a dust token or an NFT that says free mint, and maybe it's harmless and it's just an advertising thing to get you to go check out a project, but scammers caught on and started using it to, if you try and sell that dust token, you'll see, I don't remember purchasing ass token, but here it is, and it says it's worth $10,000, and you go and try and sell it, and now they, because of the fact that you interacted with it, you're giving it permission to take everything off your wallet. So don't touch it. Just don't touch anything that shows up in your wallet. And then connecting your wallet, avoid connecting to unknown sites. Don't click links, validate the address before you connect, always disconnect, always clear your browser history and cache before you leave. And if you don't have to, don't open your wallet. Don't, there's other ways to check the charts versus like every 5 seconds. Did it go up? Let me open my wallet. Did it go up? What it's worth now? Don't do it. Go find another way to look at your balance that doesn't connect your wallet to the internet. And then I'm gonna stop there, and then let's get into SparkBot because they got some good features that will help with all of this.
Let's go.
Did you want to present it, or I don't?
Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta make sure that that it's up at the top real quick. Let me sure. Let's see.
What's your opinion of Everise default?
I love Everise.
You just have 2 seed phrases whenever.
When you were talking about seed phrases, I knew it was something. And you just said it. When you were talking about seed phrases, the thing with the Ledger, I believe, they have where you can have that 25th seed phrase. That's 25th word.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar, there's like version 1 had like 12 words, and then they upped security, so some will have 24 words. And then, as Ladybug's suggesting, there is a 25th word, which is like, a secret word that only you would know, that even if somebody got access to the 24 words, you still have to know the 25th word that you choose. Because for those that don't know, seed phrases are generated. Like you don't choose the words, right? They're auto-generated for you. So if there's an algorithm to generate it, there may be an algorithm to guess it in the future, right? Not right now. But that 25th word is, I believe, something that only you know. So they can't brute force their way into guessing. They would have to come to you and hit you over the head and threaten you. That, as far as I know, I don't know. I think that's how it works. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I just seen Space Chick put that up. The Everise. I just heard Everise. I didn't even see that, but
I don't know what you're talking about, Space Chick. I'm gonna have to go look into that. I'm gonna say I don't know.
You gotta have 2 seed phrases, which is really, I guess it's bullish in a way because that's really secure. That's really extra secure.
Yeah. I mean, it's called layers of security, right? You're layering on extra security, right? You could have your front door, which is just your key. That's one layer. Then you have an alarm on your house. That's the second layer, right? And then you have somebody sitting there with a gun. That's the third layer, right? You just layer on security. So yeah, anytime you can layer on security and there's always a balance, in the security space where it's like, how much is too much? What's going to prevent you from getting into your wallet, right? It's all about your risk tolerance. I may not need 2 seed phrases because I sit in my house and I don't go anywhere and I don't connect to anything, right? So I'm not saying I don't, but maybe that's an example. Maybe you don't go anywhere. You're just sitting there. And, anytime you can layer on security where it doesn't prohibit you from functioning, I think it's good. That's my 2 cents. When it starts preventing you from actually doing your job or doing what you need to do, like I can't trade now because I have 4 passwords and I can't remember 3 of them.
That's a lot.
That's not helpful, right? So, it's all about your risk tolerance when it comes to cybersecurity, and that's what we tell big companies, right? What is your risk tolerance? What's your risk profile? What do you need to do?
So, like you were saying, so those that, you might have a loved one, and they don't even have to be older, but they might be showing signs of, forgetting stuff and stuff. Try to make sure that they have their stuff secure as to where that you might be able to help them, people get dementia at different ages and stuff. So when you said that, that's just what came in my spirit. That if you got a loved one and um, even though they're not saying anything about it, but there's issues, go ahead and try to kind of cut it off at the tail, at the not the tail, at the front before anything would be bad, or where they could, because that might be something that could take care of them for the rest of their life, where they're living, without having to worry about bills and stuff. And so, I don't know. Just thought I'd mention that. That's important.
Very, very, yeah. I mean, my grandfather was, towards the end of his life, was really big into he would just get on he taught himself how to use the computer, how to do stuff, how to buy stuff on the internet, and that was a big thing. So, just.
How older people are. I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get in my car and go to the store. I'm not writing no checks. I deal with cash. It's all kinds of, I'm stuck in my way type. I'm not moving. No. This is this, and that's okay. For some people, but other people they got to step up to the plate.
Then you get those reckless, I don't give a crap old people that are like, I'll put my credit card anywhere. Like, no.
Right. Oh, okay, here you go. Like you just say, oh yeah, I need X, Y, and Z. Oh, here you go. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's go over this stuff first before we. Yeah, it's definitely a broad range of investors.
Oh, my God rest his soul. He was 92, getting on the internet doing stuff. I'm like,
amen. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. Because look, if you don't do it, who's going? Quit relying on somebody else to do stuff for you. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I get it, women. I get it. X, Y, and Z does X, Y, and Z, and that's what that's just what they do. And it helps you out and this and this and that. But you need to have some sort of idea on how to move crypto, how to invest in crypto, and not just be going on different people's words. And I can say that to the ladies because I know firsthand how us ladies are, because I've had to help many ladies get set up or just do it for them, because they, first of all, I get frustrated. Like here, it takes me 5 minutes where it's going to take us an hour of me breaking down, trying to do stuff. So, but ladies, you really need to if you're that girl, he does everything for me. Start just looking over his back when he's doing stuff. Not saying push in, because that's what they've been doing, right? So you don't want to just be like, oh, excuse me, let me do it now. You got to see what they're doing, but start paying attention to what's going on with your investments, so you can have more of a hands-on approach in that area.
My father always said too that people aren't toasters. They don't come with guarantees, right? So you don't want to be in a position where maybe a relationship dissolves too, and now that person has access to your seed phrase, and you don't know how to get it. I mean, this is just with anything, right? You just make sure you're safe and you know how to do stuff. We just want to make sure that if you're investing, that you know how to access your investments, and that somebody just can't take it from you, right? So
yeah, that's key. You come on, because I hate for you to come. They had everything. I mean, everything. I mean, I think we've had a few stories like that already in the chat, where somebody's had their seed phrase that they've passed away. I mean, just all kinds of things. And so that's why I said this space is really important as far as being secure and stuff, because at the end of the day, you're not in here for people to take your money. You're in here to make money and to be able to hopefully get generational wealth and bless your family or friends or your dog or your kids, whatever the case may be. And it would just be a shame to have stayed in this space for 2, 3, however long you've been here, and and you're in Vote or whatever, and Vote goes and shoots up, and all of a sudden, something happens and you can't access your account.
Yeah.
You know,
You've been part of this army for 2 years, right there with us, and we want to see you be successful, right? We want to celebrate with you.
that's what it's about. It's really what it's about, guys. So, with the Spark transfer, I just want to make sure we touch bases on that with the Spark bot, and how you're able to set up that Spark transfer to where if you're just trading in one of the wallets on there, and then you add that Spark transfer wallet on there, it's easy. All you do is just take your address and copy it in. You don't have to hook your Ledger. I'm talking about Cold Wallet, or SafePal or EliPal or whatever you have. You just copy that address, just drop it in there, and once you finish with that sale, once you finish with that sale, it automatically goes into your to your Cold Wallet. And so that helps prevent you from being scammed as well, because if people are tracking wallets, most of the time, they see out, in, out, in, out, in. And if they've been watching, they're thinking it's probably going to go back in that same wallet. And surprise, it doesn't.
Yeah, for those new that may not understand what SparkBot is, right? So, Volt has a Telegram bot that you can go in and trade, and it'll generate some hot wallets for you. You can put your own wallet in there. Make sure it's a hot wallet that you don't care about, right? You can trade. You can set limit orders. You can tell it to trade, and it'll go out to the market, to the DeFi market, and trade for you. And the feature that Ladybug was talking about is you're not putting your wallet in there to trade on. You're just trading on this hot wallet, and it'll send all funds to the different wallet that you've specified. So you're trading on the hot wallet on DeFi, and then sending the funds off to a safe account on your cold wallet. So if you have not checked out SparkBot, please go check it out. That's just one of the features that, the positive features about it is that you can trade safely and get it off your hot wallet. Because how many times you've done a DGen play and you've forgotten to move funds or take stuff out, or you just leave it there, and now it's sitting on a hot wallet, and you're like, well, crap. Thankfully, nothing happened to it.
Yeah, right. That's where they ever revoked. Did not ever revoke. I see Everrise. That's where the revoke permission comes in too, guys. I mean, I went in and it was done in a matter of, I guess, a minute or two, and there's, they don't have, all of them had access. I access to everything, and so that is key. Guys, especially for those, it's for everybody. So what, you got 2 tokens on there, go revoke the permissions unless you get ready to sell it or something, just so you know that that's one less entry point that a scammer can come in and take your stuff. You see what I'm saying? That's really what it's about. We're just trying to make sure that the entryways. We can't save everybody, but we can just try to give you the best information at this time for you to be able to move forward in this cybersecurity, cyber crypto space concerning cyber security.
A lot of C's and S's. And it's a great feature. And again, for those of you new that may not understand what revoking means, I told you to go and check out which sites are, if you can go into your browser and clear your cache and disconnect from the website, as well as disconnecting from your hot wallet. That's one area. But when you approve transactions and you approve tokens, that approval lingers. So it sits there and it's now approved to trade and interact with your wallet. And what revoking does is, correct me, I have not used it and shame on me, I have not used it through SparkBot yet. But you can bring up what tokens and what things have access to that wallet, and you can go and revoke, meaning take away access to interact with your wallet. We had been pushing EverRevoke, but now that this feature is incorporated into SparkBot, you can have it all in one place. You can go to SparkBot and trade and revoke and send funds out. So it's a great feature. It's just a great tool, not only to trade with, but to secure your assets.
It's really the SparkBot, the fact that for a new investor, you get 3 wallets in one place, and you didn't have to go to 3 different sites. You get a MetaMask, Coinbase, or Crypto.com. It gave you 3 wallets in the DeFi without you having to do anything. But one of the safety features there is this: once you ask for your seed phrase or your private key, I believe it gives you a private key, not seed phrase, private key, I believe. They only give it to you one time. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't remember now if it was a seed phrase or private. But they only give it to you once.
Yeah, it's a private key, I believe.
Key.
It's not a seed phrase.
It's like, it looks like an address. It looks like.
Yeah, it's a private key.
So don't be confused.
Yeah, private key.
I wanted to add, and not like the scamming aspect of all that, but Kira, if you want to touch on, like, when it comes to transfers, be cautious of to be aware that you're in the right, whether you're trading on ETH or BSC.
Yeah.
Test small amounts first and then send the rest. You want to touch on that?
Yeah, good point. It's not necessarily security, just good practices, right? Just to let's say you have $50,000 in your wallet and you're not paying attention and you do stuff quickly and you have the wrong network selected, or you fat finger an address or anything, and you send it out, there goes your $50,000, right? So if you're trying to send from Ethereum network, check to see what both the sending and the receiving network are, to see, do these match up? Am I sending from ETH to ETH? Am I sending from BSC to BSC? A big one was, what was that one? Was it Litecoin? There was one that required, and I lost like $3,000 because I didn't put the memo in there. There was a network that required, there was a network that required an additional number to be put. So anytime you're sending or, sending stuff out, always look to see what information is required. Are the networks the same? Double check the address. There was a big thing where they were, and I don't know if it's like this anymore, but early on, there was malicious code that was being installed on people's computers that anytime you put in an address, it would recognize that you were putting in an address and changed it. So always validate the address. So validate the networks, validate the address, and to Elle's point, don't just send a lump sum. Like, if you don't have it set up, if you don't have this tested out or set as a favorite or whatever, if you've never done this before, do it anyway. Do it if you've done it 50,000 times. Just always send $5, 5 cents. Just send a small amount to see if it goes through and is successful. And if it does, then send the rest. Send it in chunks. Send it. You may pay a little bit more in gas fee, but $5 in gas versus $50,000. With anything, this is your money, right? Like, if you're sending an ACH to someone, if you're if you call up your bank and you're like, I need to transfer funds, I mean, you have this level of safety when you work with the banks. Treat it the same way when you're working with crypto. So good point, Al.
Great point. Is it it? Is it it? Is it it? Is it it?
I believe that is the last slide I have, but yeah, that's the last slide I have. But is there anything, any questions, any extra information people want to point out? I know I'm missing a lot. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this whole subject is so broad. We could talk about a lot of things, but
really good. Yeah, what was you gonna say?
Well, and we talk about this a lot as well, but personally, I feel like it's a big one. We're going to make a lot of money. So, we talk about, keep that to yourself. Keep that close to the chest. Don't go around and telling people what you have in your wallets, If you after and say, man, I sold that a long time ago, because remember what was happening with Shiba? It was every news outlet, everybody knew that thing was running. And what you think is going to happen, Oh, I heard Al bought Vault 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, no, I sold that a long time.
Right, exactly.
That's what I would say.
And you really have to get that. You really have to get that, because I know the excitement's going to come and all of that. And, we all been telling, or well, not all of us, but, some of us might have been telling loved ones, hey, X, Y, and Z. And when you start moving different, those loved ones are going to recognize that, And so that's another, and I wanted to make mention, that's another reason why I love Jen's spaces on when she comes on, because I think it's Monday nights. I always get Monday and Tuesday. I think Spanish is Tuesday night, but Monday evenings, because they go over wealth transfer. They try to give down to earth, regular, investors' outlooks on how you should move, and you're talking about what is it? Trust funds and different things like that. And so you really need to go check out her channel. As far as this is concerned, her and Sin, they do an awesome job, and they bring up awesome people to be able to discuss that. So that's another place for you to get some great information as far as what you want to do with your wealth and different things like that. So make sure y'all tap in. I'm pretty sure it's Monday nights. I just haven't looked it up.
It is. It's Monday.
But I would say, was she on last night? Because I didn't see it.
So, no.
I kept looking for it.
I thought I saw a note that it was not. Something came up and she had.
Okay, good. I was on. I came on at 7. I was like, okay. I came back in about 7:30, 8, and it was like, okay, and whatever. But okay, so just make sure y'all tap in to hers as far as that's concerned. If you're needing more information about trust funds and different other ways for you to be able to handle the wealth transfer that's going to be happening. Okay. What else is there? I know. I'm gonna jump off of here because I do have another space at 5 with Miss Anessa. It's gonna be super bullish. She's gonna come and hang out, bring a couple of ladies and or a few ladies, I don't know. And we're gonna go over Volt. What is it? VoltiPay and VoltiChange, I believe is what she's using, SparkBot, whatever. We'll go over all that, get in more depth, and also go over, her project and stuff, because it's communities working with other communities. So that's what we're going to do today. And she's a big NFT. She's got a lot going on. She stepped in and is doing a lot. So when I try to put out, when I do these YouTubes, I try to make sure it's content, that you guys would be able to use in the future. except for on ladies' night. Y'all know what ladies' night is. It just is what it is. It goes down. But on these, it's just really important. So I'm bringing her on, and this is her second time on. And so I would just say, please get a notepad and pencil and write down because she's a wealth of information. Okay, she is a wealth of information, and for anybody that's like me, I'm a nerd and I like to sit and listen and soak it all up and learn and you know and be just. It's awesome to be in the space with really educated people that have a passion and go for what they for what they know. So what's up, Willie Will? How you doing, sugar? But I'm gonna let you do last words.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of this is tied to emotions. Fishing is tied to your emotional state at the moment. When they get hooked into something because you're emotional, you're panicked because you need access to something, or you're panicked because you think an admin one needs your help and you're trying to be helpful. When the bull market hits, emotions are going to run wild. Just be level-headed. Don't let emotions with anything, with trading, with drama on X, with drama in the TV. Stop, pull emotions out of this. All right. When the bull market hits and you see your wallet go up, don't let emotions make you do stupid things. I'm just going to say, right? Just be smart and remember all these security rules, even if the emotions are high. So that's my last words. And stay voltage.
L.
Thank you for this. It was much needed. So it was good information, and I learned something I didn't know. So I hope everyone got something out of it, and listen to it again and again if need be. And what Kira said, just take the emotions out and be calculated. You can't go wrong with that. So thank you, Ladybug and Kira, for this. We appreciate it. And of course, stay vaulted.
Awesome. What space chickie? Spacey chick.
We have the mega space tomorrow too. Just
at 6 p.m. She said famous Willie. Willie is Splash Willie, but anyway. Yeah. Mega Space 6 p.m. Space Chick, and this is coming on tonight at 5. She'll be on Space Chicks tomorrow at 3. So we're doing so we're gonna get plenty because as Space Chicks does. It's gonna be lit. So make sure y'all tap into the Daily Dose at 12:30, guys. Monday through Friday, 12:30. Okay. Yes. Yes.
We got Willie up here. I didn't know if you were gonna close
it
out real quick.
Yeah, you can say. Go ahead.
Hey, my bad. Good morning, Vote Army. Good morning, Ladybug. Good morning, L. Good morning, Kira. All I gotta say is, Kira, salute to you. You came to cook, rattle, and roll. You brought the slides out. Yo, I am so bullish and spending right now. I'm normally work on Tuesdays on my day off, man, but yo, I am like voted beyond voted. Kira brought the slides out. Came to cook. I literally took a few notes, no exaggeration. Kara, salute to you, man. I just want to say, man, major salute to you. Thank you, Ladybug, for having that, and that's all I got. I just had to say something, y'all. Compton explain, man. Kara is whipping a pot right now. Let's go.
If there was nothing I took away from my career, it was how to put a PowerPoint deck together. So thank you for that.
Yeah, she's definitely down. But one thing I just say, it was okay. But yeah, one thing I say about Kira, she's definitely on her job, boy. She's definitely on the security. Y'all know that's my girl anyway, so we ain't gonna go through all of that. Y'all know what it is. But thank you, Kira, for coming up, hanging out with us, and sharing. And again, you guys stay vaulted, and I'm hoping I'm not missing. I'm trying to think. Spanish is tonight. Spanish chat is tonight, I believe, at 6 or 7. So hopefully I'll be done in time. If not, we'll scoot on. We'll jump over as soon as we get done on the Spanish. And for me, I'm telling you guys right now, that's one thing that I'm always gonna push, because I feel like, and then when another group comes up, whether it be whatever, Japan or whatever, I don't know how to speak it, but hey, if they start building like the Spanish community builds, that's what we need to do as a whole, as a community. I don't know how to speak Spanish. I do a little bit. See, senora. Okay. Oh, extra. But anyway, that's just one thing we need to do, because as we embrace them, they embrace us, and we go up together, because obviously it's all one community anyway, right? Because we're all here for Volt. So let's make sure that we show up and show out. At least, like I said, turn your phone on. You don't have to necessarily be in the space. I turn it on and sit, and I hear, and certain stuff I hear, I'll click in or make a emoji, because they do switch to Spanglish sometimes, as Volcano calls it. But yeah, let's make sure we tap in. And until later on, holla. Bye-bye.